up in Kifisia, and he's very much into, into human and crew-related issues at the company as his position. It says, okay, let me see. We still cannot see anything, Captain Dimitris.
Yeah. I cannot see my screen. I don't know what is.
Okay. Panagiotis, if you may, because Captain Dimitris has sent his presentation. So, Captain Dimitris Panagiotis will upload it. And,
that will be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And tell us when you want, to switch and go to the next slide. And
okay, fine. That will be
next 15 minutes. Or 1 second. I will. And if you can.
Okay. Kalimera, good morning to everyone. I'm Dimitris Kaladidis, Master Mariner. Just a few words before I will start my presentation. I first joined Sea back in 1980 as cadet, and since 2004 I was sailing on tankers. Thereafter I joined the office, and since 2004 I'm in the office in various positions. I can say very truly that training has changed a lot since 1980. There is no any comparison you can make. I can just say that with very good knowledge. So, from my current position, I'm just coordinating the training department of this company, and I would like to share with you some of my thoughts. So let's go to the next slide, please, Panagiotis. Everybody knows that training is very important, and as I'm saying in my presentation, is vital. Because we need, first of all, to address weaknesses on our personnel, to improve their performance, to build up at the end a very competent crew, and prepare them in all respects ready to anticipate the industry applicable challenges. And everybody knows how the industry the last years, how demanded it is. So a very important thing is also just to reduce accidents. Reducing accidents at the same time will enhance the company's reputation. This is some of matters which is making training vital for me, at least. Next slide, please. So in order to go on with the training, we need to develop very robust procedures. As every, reliable company needs to have very detailed procedures about its training program. That's right. We have developed our procedures, based on specific training requirements for each rank, because even the ratings on board the vessel are playing a very important role, operational wise and safety wise. So specific training requirements for each rank prior and after employment, along with a refreshing training within a set time. We need to understand the industry orientation, and at the same time, just to have as a minimum prerequisite what each one of the seafarers needs to have before joining the vessel. Go to next, please. So by developing the procedures, we are going to identify, monitor, and fulfill the training needs of each seafarer. Reassure that all training shall be undertaken with a set time frame for each rank through development and monitoring of seafarer-specific training plan. We are closely monitoring the specific seafarer training plan in order to identify, monitor, and fulfill his training needs. Next. Talking about training needs, we need just to say a few words how we are just identifying some means to identify the training needs. Monitoring of new legislation, and everybody knows that the new legislation that last years are coming almost every year continuously. So we need just to monitor closely the new legislation, identifying what is the training needs. Just for instance, I can say that for the cyber, security convention, which is a forthcoming new legislation 2020-21, we need to have developed specific procedures for our personnel. This is an example. So we can just extract training needs through the review of appraisal records, including feedback from onboard drills and exercises. This is also a very useful tool for us, either through the evaluation forums, but also during our attendances on board. Review the vessel's performance trends, because as we know, every vessel, each one of our vessels, mostly tankers, anticipating a lot of third-party inspections, either post-state control inspections or SAR inspections or CDI inspections, where the performance is measured, and we can just extract some trends from this performance and to focus where we need to proceed with the training needs. Next. Through assessment of competence in rank or in preparation for promotion, and I will let you know what I mean with competence, because it's a very important, I think, item. It is part of the competency management system, which I will let you know in the next slides. In order to prepare somebody in a higher position, to be promoted in a higher position, it's very important to have previously identified his training needs in order to focus on these weak areas, which most probably are applicable, and prepare him ready to take over this critical position. I'm talking for senior officers mostly. Review of audits and trends, either internal audits or external audits, and correlation of non-conformances, incidents, and near misses. As I am the lead investigator for accidents category A, B, and C for this company, myself and my team, I can say that through the investigation reports, we have just identified a lot of training that is required to be enhanced or to be developed for our seafarers in some instances. So it's a very good tool which is used very carefully by us in order to identify training needs. Next, please. So having identified the training needs, we need just to develop the training methods, just to find some training methods, effective training methods. So what we choose here in this company, first of all, is very common to everyone, to everybody, that group training is I don't know if it's so much effective, but is used either here in our premises, but also in our manning agents' premises, having different ranks in the same group, and provide some kind of training which is of common interest. Familiarization and briefing sessions. We have just expanded a little bit the familiarization and briefing sessions by developing specific pre-familiarization questionnaires, which is related to each rank. For instance, navigation related or cargo related, engine related. So in order to make our seafarers be familiarized very easily and very deeply, we have just prepared this questionnaire, and each one of them needs to respond, to reply each particular multiple choice questions, and thereafter to take a look in the procedure and to identify and to find what the question asking by reading at the same time the procedure, the applicable procedure. This is a method which we are using in order to make much more easier the process, and we believe that is effective. Training method as conferences, seminars, workshops, physically or remotely because of COVID-19. We are making a lot of conferences and seminars remotely, in having our manning agents in line, and our seafarers from their home. So it seems that it is working, but we need to measure the effectiveness. I'm not yet convinced that if it's very effective, because I strongly believe in the physical attendances of personnel and the direct training approach. So interactive group exercises under the instructions supervision, such as full mission bridge simulator, navigation and engine room simulators interlinked, having both members, engineers, and deck officers at the same time working on the simulation process. Very effective, I think, and a very experienced instructor. It seems that provides a lot of benefit. Next, please. Can I go to next, please? So, computer-based training, very common to everybody. Nothing more to add on this. E-learning platforms. This is a very interesting, I think, training method. E-learning platforms through experienced providers, where we can just prepare, with the assistance of them, tailor-made courses based on company's material, having also included our experience from any particular accident or incident, and in animation format we will be able to present to our crew members the whole story and make them also answer to some specific questions in order to make them actively participate and provide a feedback. Otherwise, only by looking a video, I don't know if it's so well understood by the seafarers. And I can say that as a seafarer, this is the reality. Reflective training. Everybody knows that reflective learning training was demonstrated from an oil major a few years ago, and it seems that is very, very effective if you will follow exactly the process. On the job training, this is my favorite. I think that on the job training is the best one for myself at least. Having somebody on board, I will say a few words in the next slides, and drills and exercises. Next. The scope, okay, skills enhancement and awareness. I mean, skills enhancement for the training, awareness for the familiarization, skills, technical skills, and soft skills. Two areas where it is very important to say a few words in the next slides, but needs a lot of discussions on this area. Next. Reflective learning. Just to explain, if for anybody is not very well aware of what is reflective learning, is the main tool in order to change behavior towards safety. I mean, it's not like the old days that somebody sitting in front of some people on board and start reading a scenario or just providing some near misses by talking only one and everybody else just only listening, and I don't know, maybe somebody of them are thinking something different, is not actually in the room. So by reflective learning, as I have practiced on board the vessel, you just have groups of persons, make them just actively participate, ask them to work as a team, to provide feedback, to make them feel important, to make them feel that is part of the team, and they need just to provide their experience, and it is very important, it's very valuable, their experience in this project. So provides a significant and meaningful learning for us because I said you have the personal engagement of each one of the participants based on its own recognition of experience, because you know even an AB, just an able seaman, which is a lower rank on board the vessels, his experience very valuable because something which happened to him maybe as a master you haven't before experienced. So you need to get this experience as well and just use it in such training methods as the reflective learning. It's very useful, very, very effective tool for me, provided that you will just follow the whole process according to the instructions as provided by this oil major, because it's not a simple process. Next. Next. On the job training, as I said, is my favorite. Is a great way to help new employees mostly. Just give them the chance to be familiarize themselves on board the vessel on specific procedure, on specific jobs, on the job itself. So at the same time, give them the sign what the company's culture requires, how they need to behave, how they need to enhance their attitude in certain circumstances, either during the drills, either during navigational matters, during approaches, during cargo operations. In every instance, you can just you will be able to provide very specific instructions, make them understood well and clear what they need to do. So as you understand, is a combination of theory and hands-on approach. I have used myself when I was on board the vessel, and I strongly believe it's very, very beneficial. So it's very targeted, and you can make it very, very, on the spot, timely, at the time you wanted to do it. So next. As I said before, competency management system is not actually a training method, but is the tool in order to extract some training needs in order to provide proper and focused training. We are in process now to develop such system where the managers here in the office and the senior officers on board and the personnel itself will be able to better understand the requirements of each position, because we need to develop specific position models, and each one of even the managers will be, in a way, will be assessed by the seafarers, and the seafarers will be able to assess themselves as a self-assessment. Is a very, it's not a very easy task. It's a lot of job to be done behind all this system, but at the end of the day, it will be very easy to identify functional skills that are required in order to ensure adequate competency standards. I don't know if I'm very clear, but through the competency management system, you just monitor the whole process of each one of your personnel. You be able to get the feedback from the managers, from the superintendents, from the seafarer itself, how he thinks that is standing performance-wise, and you will be able to focus on his training, saving money, and provide the specific training for the specific person. Next. Is what I said before. It is you will be able to identify strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, the training should be based on accurate identified trainings. So any probable competency gaps will be also be able to deal with and to close during the life of this system. Next. Some of the challenges. So I noticed that the training material is not always such proper as required, to my understanding at least. Okay, you are using some specific model courses, very generic things. I believe that we need to incorporate specific and applicable procedures from our company in order to make it more related with the particular course. What I mean is that the seafarer, although is trained in accordance with the IMO model courses, it has the same time the chance to review some of the company's procedures, forms, checklists, if it will be incorporated in such way in order to be used. For instance, in BRM, Bridge Resource Management Simulator, just you can use some checklist, bridge checklist, or other material in order to make our people familiar and well trained in the specific area. Training material is very important. We need to have a very comprehensive training material in order to provide a very effective training. Instructors. Instructors also are very important. I mean, it's a challenge for us because in order to find a very good instructor which has the inspired instructor, I may say, because the instructor must be inspired, must be committed to whatever he's doing. Otherwise, I don't believe that he will be able to demonstrate and just to convince the others to listen to him. So technical skills, it's one part, but the commitment, the experience on specific topic, facilitating tips, train the trainer is some tips which may be used in order to make instructors much more, effective. But as I said, they need to be very much committed on this in order to have some good results. Next. Next, please. Oh, previous point, okay. Okay. Measuring the effectiveness of the training. This is an area which I'm really looking for some, and if anyone has some good ideas, I'm very keen to hear about this. Measuring of effectiveness of the training is a huge area. I mean, and it's not so easy. I think it's very difficult. We are using some tools, post-training evaluation forms, just getting the evaluation forms from the instructor, from the participants. Okay, we can just have an idea what if according to their opinion is effective or not. But I think the best way to measure the effectiveness is during their performance on board the vessel and during their performance on board certain, situations, operational matters. So you need to combine and to in order to make it this workable through the competency management system. Maybe it would be much easier to measure the effectiveness of the training for each one of the persons. Another one challenge is just to educate senior officers to adopt a mentoring role. I saw in the agenda that a lady will just have will provide some feedback about the criteria for profiling an effective mentor teacher. That would be very interesting to hear for me. Because the role of mentor is it's not an easy task. I mean, and I don't know if the person, the senior officer on board are ready to adopt this role. We are looking for some tools in order to make them having this role, to understand what is the meaning of mentor through the soft skills enhancement mostly, because this is not a technical skill item. But we have a long way ahead. Evaluation of training centers, because although we are using our own maritime training center, we need just to evaluate training centers which are external centers, and it's very important to evaluate if their services are in accordance to our requirements. So this is another of the challenges. Next. soft skills development. So training and familiarization of senior officers with topics relating to human psychology and behavior. So soft skills development is a challenge, is a real challenge, because even it is not well understood what soft skill means. So it is not very, handy. You cannot just make it very practical to explain to the people. So it is a matter of attitude. It's a matter of behavior. It's a matter of leadership. It's a matter of emotional intelligence, resilience. So such, skills must be developed on board the vessel. It's very important to have such well trained people on these particular areas. And we managed to have some particular training courses on this, but we are working hardly with some third-party providers in order to develop further. Next. Mental health. Since February of this year, because of the pandemic, we had, anticipated a lot of difficulties with the mental health of our people, because you can imagine having seafarers on board for 11, 12, 13 months without the chance to be repatriated. So the mental health of the people was in a critical stage, and we just identified that we need to find some material, some kind of methods, training methods, in order to train them on mental health issues. We just addressed that to some experts to assist us. We have just made some small progress, but we're still working on this. This is a challenge. We have just prepared a process about the well-being conditions. We need to change the mentality of the persons on board to start thinking differently. We have the internet is playing a very huge part on this, but we need to have some other methods as well. It's not in order to make them socialize each other, to make them just talk each other, and eventually just to improve their mental health. It's a challenge, it's a huge challenge for us, and we are working with experts on this in order to make it more strong, this particular area. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Captain Dimitris, thank you. I think I know that we are following an agenda that we have, or we want to have a strict time schedule. However, your presentation was very important because you covered in a very comprehensive way what is going on right now at the industry, and for a company like Latsko, which is a very high pressure. Because I think you gave a very good and comprehensive picture of the overall issues related to training and human factor. Captain Dimitris, that we are working together in various subjects and topics, and we would like to enhance this and strengthen this cooperation. I believe that, of course, Latsko is one of the companies that they are really looking into this, let's say, area. However, you paved the way. You gave a very nice roadmap of what's going on and the challenges ahead. Thank you very much. I see that up to now we haven't still the other member of our advisory board. Stelios Volakis from Minerva and Athena Training Center has not joined. So until he will or I will take over very briefly on his presentation, I would like to welcome Sonia Karasavidou. As I explained earlier, Sonia is our project officer and she is with us and attending this first workshop, technical and dissemination workshop. So Sonia, welcome. I know that you have prepared a brief presentation, so I guess the floor is yours. If you want to share your screen or if you want to say a couple of words first, the floor is yours, Sonia, if you can hear us.
Yes, thank you, Nikos. Thank you, Panagiotis, for organizing this very interesting workshop. And also thank you to Captain Kalandidis. It was indeed a very interesting presentation. I managed to follow that. And I can see the challenges behind this, the industry and for the seafarers, and especially due to COVID limitations and due to the times we are having, and we need to use. Actually, I should open my video. Just 1 second.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Yes, now you can see me, and I will also share my screen with my presentation. Voila. Can you see my presentation?
It's loading. It's loading. Now we can see in the designer's mode.
Okay.
If you want to put it on the.
Yes, I'm just doing that now. Does it show now?
Yeah, it's up and running. Thank you.
So before I start, just to say that, due to COVID limitations, we are all obliged to meet virtually. But I'm happy that at least this solution exists, and although it's tiring for everybody, this is a way forward for the time being. And it's good to know that there are ways to overcome the different challenges, and we have to meet those. We have to follow the new ways of meeting the challenges, and it is always reflective learning. I heard, and the commitment.
Excuse me, I cannot hear you very well. Excuse me.
You cannot hear me. I'm sorry.
Not very loudly. A little bit closer to your
Yeah,
microphone.
so we can hear you. So if you can just speak a little bit louder, we can hear you, but perhaps Captain Dimitris has a small problem. So if you can just talk a little bit louder. Thank you.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Okay, I will start with my presentation. I don't want to take too much of your time, and I know that it's important for you to speak about all the technical part of your workshop. So just a bit of policy and a bit of who we are. First of all, what is IASME, the Executive Agency for Small and Medium Enterprises? It was established by the European Commission to manage a number of funding programs, and it deals with all parts of the funding life cycle, with evaluation, grant management, project follow-up, and policy feedback. We work closely with our parent DGs of the European Commission, and the programs that we are managing are the COSME, parts of the Horizon 2020, the LIFE program, and the EMFF, of course, the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund. Maybe I have to say here that as from next year with the new MFF, multi-annual framework program, we will have a new agency, and we will be managing new programs, but this is still not agreed. So we will see as from next year what will be the new developments on that. For the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund, this is one of the EU structural investment funds with a budget of 6 billion, for the current programming period. As I said, for the next programming period, we don't know yet what the budget will be. The majority is implemented through the shared management with member states, and the 11% that is with direct management managed by the European Commission. Among the core objectives, of course, we have the development of the maritime policy, promoting sustainable blue growth, the strategy for sustainable growth, and also skills in that also skills development, which is a key objective of the strategy. Voila. And then what are the challenges? Well, I have listed here the main challenges that we have to work on. This is linked to like the mismatch between the knowledge, the graduate knowledge, and the needs of the industry, of the expectations of the businesses. Very important. And also the perceived lack of attractiveness of the marine and maritime careers, which is also something that we have been hearing for years and years. And as you know, blue economy is broad, so more training opportunities are important here, and of different nature, also on soft skills. Meeting the new technological advances, and also the changing needs of the different sectors. Now, I will go through a bit of history very quickly, just to say what were the different calls we had on careers. So first call was in 2016. To respond to the skills gaps, we had the 7 projects that were selected under that call, but we received like 76 applications at the time, and with a budget of 3 million and 2. Then the next call was a year after, the 2017 call, where we had part of it, which was one strand related to the blue networks in the Mediterranean, which was actually contributed to the initiative for the sustainable development of the blue economy in the Western Mediterranean. And again, it was kind of more focused on cooperation with business and public authorities. You see here what was the budget and what was the strand that I'm talking about. And the 3 that were selected at the time was the Blue MedSkipper and CMES West Med. 5 total, 3 were on careers. And we had partners from universities, technical and research institutes, training institutes, private companies, etc. Then in 2018, the Commission came with the 2018 call that you know very well, that you were part of it. And this call was a bigger one, because the Commission realized that indeed we need to invest more on skills. We need to invest more on people. We see that there is a need to help the different let's say sectors to strive, and for that we had this call with a bigger budget of 5,600,000, and we received 35 applications, and from that we funded 8 projects, and one of the projects is a CEO of experience, of course. We also had 2 other topics under this call: Blue Labs and Blue Economy Tech demonstration, and of course Blue Careers. This was a bit different. We wanted to have 2 partners at least, and from 2 different countries. Like that, we would bring closer the regional aspect, and there's a different the regional aspect and the sea basin aspect, let's say. And as you can see also here in the presentation, the main points that we were addressing is focusing on entrepreneurial skills and collaboration within industry and education, and the skills ecosystem that I mentioned at sea basin level. Now, the most important, one of the important parts in the team call is also to remember that we're asking the projects to include measures on sustainability, on transferability, and also we expect results that would show what is the improved employability, what are the new training opportunities, new synergies with other projects, what is how they better share their resources, and what are the new entrepreneurial ideas behind. As I said, these are the 8 projects that were funded. I will not go through the list, just to say that these were the ones you're aware of. And Sea of Experience is one of the projects that has been funded under this call. Future orientations. We have been discussing, and it's the last period of time, about the European Green Deal, and it's coming again and again on skills too, and of course ocean literacy there. We are focusing more on industry's needs, finding synergies, very, very important, with other programs and projects, and also looking into new technologies, new industries, innovative sectors. This is something that has been repeated many times in digitalization by the Commission. And yesterday I heard in a meeting again on skills that we have to listen to people, we have to support them in those difficult, challenging times that they are facing now. And we hope and we're sure that with your project too, you will indeed do that and be in a position to give your help in that direction. And I stop here. I just give you two links, the YASME EMFF link, where you can see more information, and also the DG Mare link to the skills in the blue economy. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All these are interesting. Exactly, your presentation shows, the focus and the interest of the Union, of the European Union, of the Commission on human-related aspects, and human-related aspects, especially. I know we're talking about blue and various types of industries, but especially for shipping, it's a thing of great interest and importance. And now with the COVID-19 situation, the human element is exactly under the spotlight for many reasons.
Yeah.
Most of them not so good, but I will not go through that. Okay, thank you, Sonia. Okay, now I have received an SMS from Stelios that he will be joining us very shortly. So waiting for Stelios from Minerva Marine and the Athena Training Center, who is the second member of our advisory board after Captain Kalatidis. I think that it would be beneficial now to pick up from where Sonia and from what Sonia mentioned on her presentation, during the presentation, about synergies, about other projects. I would like to give the floor to our colleague from CERF, to Lefteris. Mates is a related project. I think Mates has been concluded, is being concluded. I don't remember actually.
No.
I know because I was invited to a couple of Mates workshops at the beginning. It's still ongoing. Okay. So our colleague Lefteris Sdougopoulos from CERF will be presenting shortly the MAGE project. And Lefteri, the floor is yours. Please share your screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me just try to bring up the presentation. Can you see it?
Not yet, but we can see you.
I think you may, it's loading. I think you may see it now. Is it okay?
Still nothing. Now it's loading.
How about now?
Fine, super, go ahead.
Okay, so good morning everyone, and I would like first to thank Professor Vedikos and the whole Sea of Experience Consortium members for the invitation to present today the MAGE project. My name is Lefteris Lukopoulos. I'm an associate researcher at the Hellenic Institute on Transport, and today I'm going to present the approach of the project, the results we have achieved so far, with the ultimate goal of building at the end of the project a marine technology scaling strategy. So the main challenge, as previously also mentioned, is skills. And there is a key fact that almost 40% of European employers report that they cannot find people with the right skills to grow and innovate. So in today's fast global economy, skills are determining competitiveness and the ability to drive innovation. They serve as a pull factor for investments. They are a main catalyst for growth and are also key to social cohesion. So considering these points, the European Commission issued a few years back the New Skills Agenda for Europe that consists of 12 actions structured around three main pillars. One of them is skills intelligence, and one action is to develop blueprints for sectorial cooperation of skills. The first six sectors that were addressed, you can see it on the slide. So MAGE was the project selected. This was done through the Erasmus Plus program for addressing the maritime technology sector. Here is the identity of the project. We are a consortium of 17 partners. The project will be concluded at the end of next year, and our total budget is about 5 million. The main objective of the project is to develop, as it was said at the beginning, a skills strategy addressing the main drivers of change to the maritime industry. And we focus on two sectors, shipbuilding on the one hand and offshore renewable energy on the other, which are strongly linked, and they both require new capacities in order to succeed in today's increasingly digital, green, and knowledge-driven economy. You can see here the methodological approach of the project. We follow the plan, do, check, act cycle. And today I'm going to focus more on the plan phase and more specifically on the baseline strategy that we have built. But also we'll talk a little bit about the next steps in the project. So the first step in the project was to mobilize stakeholders. We now have a network of around 186 experts coming from different profiles, having different profiles, and these experts are organized in 8 thematic groups. We also did an extended review of relevant publications, projects, other material, which are all structured in a digital repository. And this was the basis for building a state-of-the-art compilation report, which outlined the status of both sectors, mainly from an economic perspective. Then we had a number of mobilization workshops. We had actually 5 of them in different countries, where the experts were brought together and discussed current and future gaps in skills, but also activities required in order to address them. Then the next step was to build a baseline strategy upon which all the next project activities will follow. So we had three kind of activities. First, some desk research, where we set our reference layers, and I'm going to explain that in the next slides. we did a skill supply analysis. So we identified and assessed different educational training programs offered within Europe. We had some regional workshops bringing again experts together to discuss in more detail about the skills gaps and shortages, and we validate the outcomes of these workshops in general workshop, in a validation workshop held in Brussels. And then we wanted to deepen our insights of the industry. And for addressing skills demand, we did a job vacancy analysis. So we identified job advertisements in different countries, and we analyzed what were the requirements of the industry. We did a questionnaire survey targeting mainly SMEs providing services in the sectors. And then we also had a number of personal interviews with experts and a focus group meeting that allowed experts to interact and build consensus on some topics. So I will try to summarize the main results for the two sectors that fit into the baseline strategy. So for shipbuilding, the reference layers were actually used for both sectors, the value chain. So we formed the value chain, and then based on that, based on the different phases, we identified the occupational profiles that are engaged in each process, in each phase. As you can see here, how we group them together. We used the ESCO database as a reference point, and we categorized profiles to primary and supporting based on the impact that they have on the value chain. Then for the primary profiles, we did a skill supply analysis, and you can see here the different countries that we identified programs in. The programs were of all IQF levels. IQF is the European Qualification Framework. Overall, we had 482 programs identified for the academic year 2018-2019. And in the diagram, you can see the occupational profiles targeted by most field of specialization. However, we had a considerable number of programs of higher education that were oriented more towards engineering disciplines. What we found out was that there were a small number of programs that directly focus on the sector, but most of them were providing qualifications that were more general and could be applied in different sectors. We had some programs concentrating in specific regions, for example, in Galicia in Spain or in Friuli Venezia in Italy, where the shipbuilding activity is more active. Since the majority were VET programs, which are almost exclusively provided at the national language of each country, there were a small number of programs provided in English, and these were actually the programs of higher education. And we saw that there were, in the skill supply, there were considerable gaps, since 40% of the occupational profiles are covered by less than 5 programs. And these gaps and shortages are mainly related to specific technical skills. And then for the skills demand, and this is a synthetic analysis of the results, we first try to see how companies assess the skills of their employees. We saw that based on the questionnaire survey that most of the companies, actually half of the companies, undertake such a process on an annual basis, whereas almost 27% of the respondents, we had about 110 companies, undertake such a process even more than once a year. They mainly target engineers and engineering technicians, and it was stressed out by the experts that there is a pressing need to continuously improve the skills, so the adaptation gap of the companies to the market dynamics and the new technology implementation is shortened. And these needs about skills improvement mainly relate to electrification, alternative fuels, additive manufacturing, and automation and digitalization. With regard to employment needs, companies reported that it is quite difficult for them to find employees with the desired skills and qualifications. Young engineers and blue-collar workers often lack the necessary practical experience to be directly employed in the sector and provide added value. From the job vacancy analysis, we saw that engineers and managers are currently in the greatest demand. And also it was stressed out that the opportunities to attract skilled personnel from other production sectors need to be taken into consideration. So then we tried to map what are the current gaps with regard to hard skills and soft skills, and you can see here in the table what were the results of this process, grouped into different categories. And this is for the soft skills as well. And as we mentioned here, that soft skills were provided equal importance compared to hard skills. And then at the end, we had some recommendation on how these gaps can be addressed. We saw, and it was mentioned previously by Captain Kaladidis, that on-the-job training was quite important. So informal and non-formal education training methods were the preferred solution. It was stressed out that certain programs need to be accredited by national, professional, or governmental bodies, and possibly a centralized European system can minimize difference between EU countries. Develop synergies with other sectors was also very important, and furthermore, there was mentioned by the experts that shipyards should take efforts to reform their human resources policies and also establish proper replacement mechanisms of older workers so that the knowledge and experience that they have acquired over the years is transferred to the new generations. And we did the same kind of analysis for the offshore renewable energy. So we have here the value chain and the different occupational profiles identified. The skill supply, here we had 551 programs identified. Here the majority consisted of master and the bachelor degree programs. So we see that our specialization is provided more at an academic postgraduate mainly level. We had very few VET programs. And from these programs, we saw that a small percent, only 5%, directly address offshore renewables. Most of them have some courses integrated within a broader context that is focusing on renewables. However, despite the small number of programs that directly address the sector, we saw that they try to cover some critical aspects of the overall chain. The main shortages, and given the absence of VET programs within the European context, were mainly related to technical occupations and more specifically to electromechanics, assembly processes, health and safety procedures, underwater construction, and welding. And given that the majority was master programs and that most of the developments in the sector are located in North Sea, a lot of the programs are provided in English, so they give the opportunity for participation of international students. So for the skills demand, it was the same case on the shipbuilding. A lot of companies review the skills and training needs of the employees on a regular basis. Here we had engineers and technicians being mostly targeted by this process. We saw, and it was stressed out by the experts, that qualified employees tend to transfer to other sectors that are more well established, like offshore oil and gas. And this is an important point that needs to be taken into consideration so that this loss of skills is avoided. And the upskilling and reskilling needs mainly relate to health and safety procedures, Oxford-specific skills, mainly technical skills and working at the sea, and digitalization. While it was also stressed out that because of the increasing size of our project nowadays, there also need to be some skills of employees to cope with larger devices and larger infrastructure. With regard to employment needs, we saw that currently open job positions are quite limited, but they will considerably increase in the future cover the needs of construction, installation, and maintenance and repair of projects. Managers and engineers were in greatest demand, and the companies reported that they find sometimes difficult to employ employees with the desired skills and qualifications. This is an overview of the gaps we found about the hard skills and the soft skills. And some recommendations on how this can be addressed. Again, informal and non-formal education was the preferred solution. Very interestingly, it was suggested to try to exploit test sites for training, but given that we resolve any confidentiality issues that may be there and also receive some financial support because the cost is quite high. It was also suggested to develop a NORE competency framework that will be complemented by skills assessment from the industry, but also in collaboration with professional bodies. The need for formal recognition of professional accreditation and certification, the development of synergies with other relevant sectors, and mainly offshore oil and gas and onshore renewables, mainly wind energy. And because a lot of attention is being placed on health and safety issues, it was suggested to develop a database of near misses in order to analyze each case and see what kind of changes in the current procedures can be undertaken. So then the other outcomes that I will not go into detail, but you can find on the project website. We also did a foresight exercise. So we tried to see how the skill needs will be changing in the future. We had 3 time horizons considered. Then, based on this analysis, we identified priorities and lines of actions, and we are in the process of developing a baseline strategy that will demonstrate how different activities, and we have a number of pilot experiences that are now ongoing or will be initiating in the upcoming months, on how this can support on addressing the skills gaps and shortages that we identified. And the last step of the project, which is for the check and act phase, is to have a critical review of the strategy and see what lessons were learned from the pilot experiences in order to build a sustainability roadmap and recommendations for the policy side, and also a long-term commitment and action plan through which the MATES Alliance will be built so that the skilling strategy for the maritime technology sector can be supported. So thank you for hearing me out, and you can find my contact details, and feel free to send me anything that you would like to receive more information on any question that you may have on the project.
Thank you, Lefteri. Thank you, Lefteri. This is a it is very close to what we have been doing at the Mentor project. Peripherically has also strong connections, and I'm certain that we can at some point see some kind of synergy, a common workshop or something like that, in order to be able to promote, the findings and the rationale and the concepts of the projects in the broader industry. I mean, this should be the focus of the industry, the blue industry, in any kind of sectors. But I believe there is room for at least a common dissemination event, so we can, further promote the vision and the effort of the Commission towards the blue industry. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you. Will of course, and my compliments and to Maria. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So I've just received an SMS that Stelios he's still at the hospital. I will take over and I will make a very short presentation. He has sent a very comprehensive one. Make a short presentation before moving to the last item of this item of this part of the workshop, of the conclusion of the dissemination workshop. Just let me note once more that there's a small poll running. So if somebody of you haven't yet completed it, please chat of the moment. Please complete it, because there will be a second poll up and running in a of this poll. So, Panagiotis, if you can just share your screen, so we can go very fast through Stelios' presentation. Okay, it's in PDF. Eh? Okay, very nice. So the second member that we have invited, and he was supposed to be here, of our advisory board, is Lakis. He's heading the Athena Maritime Center. So it's a center for a professional training in the shipping industry, in the shipping, and especially this center belongs to Minerva Marine, and Minerva Marine belongs to Martino's family, and Martino's family owns also, at least from my recollection, East Mediterranean and Stena Maris. So it's a huge group of companies with a lot of ships covering all type of ships. Minerva is a tanker ship, let's say tanker ship company. So having all this and such a big number of ships, they decided to build their own training center. So they're actually training. Up to date, they are training their own crew members. I don't know what will happen in the future, but they have built, and this is a very recent maritime center. I think it was established no more than 1 year and a half. So they wanted to promote the knowledge, the skill, and the professionalism of seafarers in general, and special, of course, for their company. They are following, of course, the STW, so they are following the material and the standardization that it is foreseen into this, let's say, convention. So the competence is subject to continuous change. This is obvious, and now with the introduction of automation and all of these, digital tools on board, it's getting more and more there. Role and jobs, they change. New technology is there, new rules. Industry standards are coming all the time. And of course, there are new objectives for each of the companies, especially while they grow and they try, to expand. So the Athena Maritime Learning and Development Center, as I said, Stelios is heading this training center, and their logo is where seafarers always come first. You can see their new building. The mission of the center is to promote high standards of competence among the seagoing personnel of Minerva Marine, to help seagoing personnel advance their knowledge, skills, and behavior in order to ensure excellence in operations, safety, and performance. So we are talking about a rather hands-on operation. We are talking about something that really takes place right now. This is, let's say, the facility. They have a complex of marine simulators, ECD simulator, electrical, mechanical simulators, tanker safety laboratory. They are having 6 classrooms for the traditional face-to-face, for example, courses. They have administrative office and lounges, but they also have some space left there for next generation, because we have discussed that with Stelios, for next generation training. So about they are talking also tools. Now you can see, I think it's Kongsberg. It's Kongsberg. It's Kongsberg, the provider. You can see the ship handling simulator. It's a fully operational simulator. They have a lot of scenarios and a lot of ship types, and they can simulate the many geographical areas around the world. So, Panayoti, go ahead. Yeah, you can see here some pictures of the ship handling simulator. And here you can see what they can do. Simulators can be used as a training tool because the training takes place in a safe environment, no risk, but mistakes are part of learning. Is as close as the reality you can get, more or less. At least now, I believe now we will have an intermediate step, which has to do with augmented reality and virtual reality, but per se and up-to-date simulators are considered the state-of-the-art type of training and facilitating our crew members. Exercises can be repeated and terminated at any time. Exercise organized irrespective of weather conditions. Fill the gap between theory and practice, and of course, reduce the required by some flag states. So it's a very, very, let's say, valuable tool for the training of their crew members. Now, they also have, of course, engine simulators, and as you can see, it's of a more electronic nature, which means that it's not a simple, standard tanker, for example, engine simulator, but here also you can have a lot of scenarios, if so desired, a lot of ship types. Let me just remind everybody that, as I said earlier, Minerva Marine mainly has tankers. And here are other, let's say, pictures from the simulators. You can see on the left-hand side, you can see the complexity of overall, let's say, task description and missions within an engine room, because you can see this should be monitored and they should be able to do some serious troubleshooting marine engineer on board the ships. They also have, of course, cargo handling simulator. Cargo handling is very important, especially for tanker vessels. So they are focusing also on the training of their crew members on cargo handling and how you load and unload the cargo, which is tanker, which is oil for oil tankers, and it is of utmost importance because we all know the sensitivity of oil as a cargo. I'm trying to go a little bit fast because we are a little bit behind schedule. Another interesting simulator laboratory that they are running right now, it's the ECDIS. So as we all know, the ECDIS has to do with the electronic charts display information system. It is obligatory nowadays to have them on board ships. So it is the most modern way, the most updated way for ships to follow their course, to see what's going on around them, to integrate in there the radar, to integrate all information, AIS, the automatic identification system, in order for the crew member, for the bridge member to have what is of utmost important, and this is situational awareness, to know exactly where they are and what's going on around them. And here you can see other type of laboratories and also some type of traditional classroom. They have for oil purifiers, they have lubricant related laboratories, because all these are very important within the missions and tasks on board the ship. They have a number of training courses. I will that on the super category. Navigation, as we all understand, is very important. Technical and engineering, so things that happen within the engine room or the generators or wherever. Safety, compliance and security, safety is everywhere, all record books, everything should be in order. So they have a long and big series of this kind of modules. And of course, as I mentioned, they also have the relevant or the respective simulator. Cargo handling is also there. I'm certain that he's very good, he's very dedicated and very much into his job. He would have done that in a much better way, but unfortunately, we couldn't have him today. As you can see, they are following a very strict quality management system. They are accredited, of course, from a classification society, and they are trying to identify training needs for the shipping companies, and Captain Dimitris can, verify that, and the rest of our external guests here. Training needs and identifying training needs for the shipping companies is a very important task. It's nothing than trivial. It is not trivial. And I believe it's the first step towards really strengthening the performance of the human element on board ships. So after identifying, they design and plan what they need as a course, as a module, they develop it, they implement it, and they evaluate it. And this is a continuous loop in order to be able to provide to the crew members the best possible training and professional education. You can see here, this is a bridge management, it's a ship handling simulator. Let's go on. Engine room management, so it's not only the equipment, but also operation. It's all about teamwork, how the team integrates and operates in order to achieve the overall mission and targets and objectives for the specific crew department. Cargo ballast handling simulator, you can see here pictures of how they are followed. Everything is based on IMO model courses, because this way can be able and they will be certain about complying with the SSW. And of course, we all understand that all this leads competence assessment. Competence is a very, complex word. Many people can translate it in many different ways. In my mind, to be very, very to the point, and for me to understand, we're talking about how you do your work. So competence assessment is a thing. It combines, as Dimitris said earlier, technical and non-technical skills. It combines qualifications. It combines a lot of things. Skills and everything are there. So they are trying, to find the results from the various simulators and classes and modules for each of their crew members in order to have a more complete approach. You didn't see. Oh, okay, very nice. Here you can see what kind of ship-specific training they can do, or ship types in terms of or ship sizes in terms of, let's say, tankers. They can have in their various, let's say, courses and simulators. As I said earlier, trying and they are focusing, because this is the way forward. I mean, you don't have just to be a good engineer, you don't have just to be a good teamwork member, you have to combine, you have to have the right qualification, you have to have the right attitude, you have to combine a lot of parameters in order to be able to complete your work in a successful manner, especially nowadays on board ships, because ships are rapidly changing, and I believe that more and more of these changes will be emerging in the future. Thank you very much. I think this is the last. Yeah, thank you. And I would like to thank Stelios and for presentation will be made by my colleague Alexandros. We are about Alexandros Ramos will be talking very, very soon. Alexandre, wrap it up.
Yes. Yes.
Of the of the show experience. The attendees to get an idea of what is in close contact with us. So, Alexandros, the floor is.
Thank you, Professor Vedikos, for the introduction. I believe you can see my screen now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, in the designers. Now it's in the
Yeah, I fixed that. In this presentation, we will get a glimpse of what to expect in the next couple of years in the Sea of Experience project. The primary features of Sea of Experience include activities as the Become an Expert for a Day and several educational activities hosted both in Greece and Cyprus. To maximize the impact and outreach of the project, audiovisual material in the form of 360 and VR, virtual reality videos, will be developed. The Become an Expert for a Day activity aims to provide participants with better mentoring and career guidance. To achieve this, selected participants will be able to follow professionals at their works on site, also making the mentoring activities, the later mentoring activities, more relevant. The participation in such activities will be voluntarily, so we should exploit social media accounts and any other dissemination channel that's available to us to attract more participants. The next feature is the 360 videos. This is a highly interesting item to expect on the Sea of Experience project. The content of these videos will be valuable both for the mentoring activities and the training that will take place during the project. These videos are a step beyond the conventional videos in the sense that they deliver a more immersive experience than the usual videos, especially for those who have not previously visited those places, which is actually our target group. The viewer can be familiarized with the working environment, which he is interested in, and and 10 videos will be developed in total to cover the 4 domains that is the focus of our project: the maritime transport, the port operations, the shipbuilding and recycling, and the cruise industry. To this end, we have both acquired the required equipment for filming these videos, but also we have approached a filming company to facilitate this effort and have a high quality and more professional result, because these videos are a little tricky to film. The videos are not ready as of now, but we can see a short video from YouTube to get an idea of what the final output would more or less look like. As these videos are interactive, I have a recording of my screen where you can see how you can navigate in such videos. So let me just get this video going. As you can see, the viewer can navigate freely on the video and focus on the items of his interest. In this video, some main equipment is named, you can see that the camera can follow the narrator and see additional information. Here we can only see some text above the equipment. Our idea is to have the viewer redirected if he chooses so he can see more information or in the form of some relevant PDF files or some papers or manuals or even videos of the equipment working. And the viewer has the ability to pause the video and continue whenever he wants. In total, 10 videos will be developed for this purpose, 9361 virtual reality video. At this stage, we have developed some scenarios for these videos, and I guess in the next dissemination workshop, we can have something more tangible to show in this regard. Okay. Here you can see the difference between the natural view, which is approximately 55 degrees, and the 360 view, where this is actually a projection in the two-dimensional plane, but you can see the added information in contrast with the regular video. Besides this, a total of 10 educational activities are foreseen in this project. This include 6 workshops and 4 summer schools that are planned for the next 2 years. Beginning with the summer schools, these activities will be conducted both in Cyprus and Greece with a duration of 3 days for each one. We are currently developing the material of these summer schools, which are structured in several thematic areas, covering 2 of the 4 domains, the maritime transport and the port operations. Those summer schools are planned for summer 2021, the first 2, and summer 2022 for the second couple. And then they have the workshops. We have 6 workshops. As you can see, the first one is crossed over in the sense that it is this workshop and the next part. The workshop have a duration of 1 day, and they cover the other 2 domains that we focus on, the shipbuilding, ship repair, and ship recycling, which are scheduled for the next autumn, maybe October or November next year, 2021. And the last couple of them will be in 2022 for the cruise industry. Further to those educational activities, the sharing pooling platform is a core element of the project that is currently being developed. I won't spare a lot of time here because the next presentation will focus heavily on that. But what I'd like to say is that content will be continuously added in this platform in the form of pictures, videos, documents, or any link that may be useful to the conversation between a mentor and his mentee. Last, we have foreseen some competitions during the project. The competitions are first 2 sets in Greece and Cyprus at the national level, and the teams with the best evaluation will be selected for the next international competition, where the subject will be determined later with the consortium and the advisor board based on the feedback we have. Then we have the digital competitions, 2 digital competitions on the domains of the Sea of Experience project. And of course, we are, because of the COVID situation, we are prepared for anything, in the sense that especially the first set of competitions may be impacted. They were scheduled to be face-to-face, but we will see how this will go with the pandemic. And I try to be short, and that was the next steps.
Thank you. Thank
project.
you, Alexandros. Alexandra, thank you very much. Indeed, thank you for keeping it short. I guess that more items will be from due to this pandemic. Also, the workshops are digital. Summer schools, we are discussing whether they will be face to face or digital. Depends on the developments for COVID-19. I think that you gave a good idea of what the people should be expecting. We are also discussing how we will film the various scenarios already that we have developed, because this is also quite relevant to the pandemic conditions. We are trying our best to see the best way forward in order for us to be able to complete and overcome actually what we were supposed to do, because we truly believe that this is the way forward. This is the way how people will be mentored or will be trained in the future. So, said that, we have concluded the first part, the part of the dissemination, and now we are shifting to the second part. This has 2 presentations. The first one will be done by Giorgos Vulkas, from Apopsy, and it has to do with the demonstration of the current version of the sharing and pooling platform. In order for our PO, our external guests, and our members of the internal people, the members of the consortium, to get a very good idea of where we are right now and where we are going. So, Giorgo, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everybody to the workshop. As Professor Vendikos said, we will try to be short since we are behind schedule, as we all know. Let me start with saying a few technical details about the platform. It's a web-based application. Let me also share the whole of my screen, because I will need the whole screen. Okay. Based application, meaning that the users download and or install anything on their PCs. It's platform agnostic, meaning pretty much you can use any operating system that you are currently using, and also you can use almost any browser, any popular browser. But not least, you can the platform is accessible through any other device, a smartphone or a tablet PC. So the users, regardless of their roles, can access and utilize the platform using the device of their preference. What we have done regarding the architecture of the platform, and it has already been stated in detail in the previous deliverables, is we try to organize all the operations of the platform into certain modules. For instance, there is a collaboration module. For instance, there is a meetings management module. For instance, there is a notification module. What we have tried to do by that is to organize, as I said, the specific functionalities under a module and develop based on that. This, of course, keeps the developers sane as much as this is possible. And we also keep track of the development, of all the development phases. And also it helps us incorporate any feedback from the members, the other partners, and the future users of the platform, so that we can be more flexible in tuning the platform and making it hopefully better. Let's start with some other architectural, let's say, stuff. Each module of the platform is incorporated within the same user interface as we will now see, meaning that each user, depending on his or her role, has the right to access specific operations and functionalities within the platform, and this is transparent for the end user. Let's log in with my favorite mentor. Okay, Professor Vendikos, right here. Okay. Now, what we have tried to implement in designing this platform is, if possible, to try and digitize each and every mentoring action that, let's say, Professor Vendikos would be able to do and perform with his mentees if he didn't have a system. For instance, what would be necessary for a mentor to have within this platform? It would be necessary to be able to offer specific questionnaires and specific survey tools or psychometric tools to his mentees, so that he can get a feedback. This is something that we have already implemented. It would be necessary for him to be able to organize meetings, either face-to-face or in this period that we are going through the pandemic, be able to organize virtual meetings with his or her mentees. So this is something that we have also incorporated in the platform, and we are able to offer that through the sharing pooling platform. Also, it would be nice for him to be able to chat and share files or use a larger library with his mentees. This is something that we have already done as well. So, for instance, and since we don't have a lot of time, as a mentor, I can see that these are my this is a list of my mentees. These are the mentees that have been already associated with me based on my specialty, maybe, or based on any other factor. The platform is very open to that. But let's suppose that this is a list of the names of the mentees that have been associated with me. We have tried to incorporate a mentoring project structure in the platform, meaning that we want to be able to offer a standardized approach, especially in cases where we have tens of or hundreds or maybe thousands of mentees attending a mentoring project. In this case, we want to be able to offer a horizontal and standardized approach to each and every one of them. Let's say that we have 315 mentees attending a mentoring project, and let's suppose that Professor Vendikos has been associated with 5 of them. We want to make sure that each and every mentee is able to maybe participate in a specific questionnaire, which is a psychometric tool, basically, and each and every mentee is exposed or is able to enjoy a meeting with his mentor. And let's say that for this project, we have specified that there will be 3 mentoring sessions. So Professor Vendikos right here, he can see that he has already implemented the first mentoring session with this mentee right here. Or let's say that he wants to schedule the first mentoring session for this mentee right here. He can either consult his screen to see if the mentoring schedule is the session is scheduled or not, or he can go to the mentee page and see all the information about him and see right now that he can schedule the mentoring session. Let's suppose that he wants to schedule it for today. It's really easy for him to do so. Let's say that it's scheduled for 12:30. And that it will be a distance session. All he has to do is hit save, and now the session has been scheduled very easily. since the time is already, what time is it? Yeah, a quarter past 12, the session is available for him to join. So just by hitting the join session, the mentor is transferred to the conferencing application, and he can he's currently waiting for his mentee to join. It's the same thing, and it's very easy for the mentee to join the same session. So if the mentee joins the session, oh, let me mute this one. Okay, I'm sorry, I joined with. I'm sorry, let me try to find the correct mentee. So this is the mentee that Professor Ventikos has scheduled the session for. It's very easy for him to go to his mentoring actions. Each and every activity within the sharing pooling platform for us is considered to be a mentoring action. So the mentee is able to see what actions he has already completed. Maybe he has completed a questionnaire, or the actions that he has not completed yet. For instance, he has to do the first mentoring session with his mentor, which is displayed right here, and all he has to do from his part is join the session as well. As soon as he joins the session, he meets up with his mentor. I will not go into a lot of details regarding that, but this is a very comprehensive web conferencing environment, and they're able to, of course, talk and see each other in real time, much like we are doing right now, and share or communicate or chat with each other. We have incorporated that within the same environment, as I already said, in order for both of them, to not have to utilize another external application. As we saw, it's very easy for the mentor to schedule a meeting. It's very easy for the mentee to join this meeting without ever having to leave the platform or log in another external system. Let me switch really quickly back to the mentor. Now, we saw that the mentor can see his mentees, the associated mentees' progress towards completing the mentoring project, and that he can monitor maybe the questionnaires that they have filled, the psychometric tools they have filled. For instance, this mentee has filled this questionnaire, and the mentor wants to see what has been said on that. What the report has been on that. So after the mentee has filled the questionnaire, the mentor can have an automatically generated report. And this report is able to give you, as a mentor, details on each and every parameter of the psychometric tool, so that the mentor can have a very solid idea about the personal preferences or the answers or the competencies or whatever that may be of this specific mentee. So having that as a very solid feedback, for instance, this mentee, we can see that in the together parameter, he has scored 76% and so on. So he has a very solid idea of what his mentee has achieved, if it's an aptitude test, or what his mentee's profile is a purely psychometric tool, and he can further fine-tune his future actions. For instance, he can decide what to talk about in their next session. Another thing that we have tried to incorporate is the ability to be able to talk to the mentor or the mentee via a chat application. For instance, the mentor can see his mentee here, and he can see that he has a new message maybe from this participant, and he can talk to him. It's very easy for him to use this chatting application. It's much like a chatting application already been using. It's very easy for him to upload a file and share it with the mentee. And it's also very important to say that if, let's say, I upload a file and give it to as we can see that he has already uploaded this file and shared it with his mentee. The mentee, on the other hand, is able, of course, to see that he has a new message from his mentor and go to his discussion with the mentor and see that he has shared the file with him. Now, the system stores, of course, the whole chat history, and to make it easier for the mentee or the mentor to be able to see what has been shared through the chatting application, the mentee can also visit this part of the application, which showcases the shared items that have been shared with him. Either they come from the chatting application or they come from the library application. Let me try to switch back to Mr. Ventikos and show the library, because we really don't have a lot of time. Okay, the e-library. The e-library is a place where all the material that is will be uploaded in the sharing pooling platform will be stored here, and it can be categorized and made accessible to the mentees. We have included some sample categories here. Let's say shipbuilding and ship repair. You can have stored items here, or you can be more specific and say, let's say, the architect. It contains a document, or it may contain a video. For instance, we have a document which is past, present, and future challenges, and we can have a full documentation of this document, how many pages, an abstract of the document, the publishers, and so forth. The user can, of course, download the document, just like with any other application. In the case of the video, of course, we can have a documentation as well. Or we can launch the video and watch the video. Now, what's interesting about the e-library is that Professor Ventikos, after going through the e-library, he might want to share the latest video that we saw with one or more of his mentees. This is easy to do. He just clicks on the share item. He selects one or more of his mentees. Let's say this guy and this guy, and he shares the item. So when this the mentee, let me try to just refresh the screen here. The mentee, Nikolaos Basdekis, when he logs in the system, he can either navigate through the library, just like we saw earlier from Professor Ventikos, and he can see that all the categories, he can select each and every one and see if he finds anything interesting, he can select and read it or view the video. He can already see that a file, which is this one here, has been recommended for him, or he can switch to his shared files and he can see the whole, the contents of his shared items, which is an item that has been shared to him via the chat application by his mentor, and it's always there for him to read or come back later for reference reasons or reviewing reasons. And he can also see that there is an item coming from the library, which is again a document that has been shared with him. So it's very easy for both the mentor and the mentee to either navigate the library or utilize the library as a sharing platform. Again, we have the ability to share any material through the chatting application and the library. So these are, for me, these are very important features because, as we we are able to have a structured mentoring project, meaning that each and every mentee will have to do 3 mentoring sessions and maybe complete 2 or 3 or 5 psychometric tools. But mentoring, we believe, is a one-to-one procedure, and it must be personalized. So in other words, we believe that the mentor has to adhere to the mentoring scheduling, the mentoring project, by scheduling 3 sessions for each of his or her mentees, and by watching and monitoring the progress of his mentees towards the completion of the project. But at the same time, the mentor must be free free and flexible to organize his mentoring and his mentoring actions by providing more help, more assistance, more guidance, whatever the specific mentee might need, by utilizing a tool. For instance, if I was on the job training, which mentoring is not training, of course, I would be able to enjoy Mr. Ventikos, and he would come by my desk and say, George, please take a look at this video. It's very important. It will help you. So this kind of operation is something that we want to be able to offer through the platform, this personalized, really personalized approach to each and every mentee. So we try to think of ways to achieve that, and we believe the e-library and the chat and other collaboration tools can be utilized in order to ensure that the mentor-mentee relationship remains both standardized and highly personalized. I think I have overdone my scheduled time. So I guess this is all for today. I can answer any question that you might have, but I don't want to push the
Thank you.
chapter.
Yorgo, thank you very much. I think that you gave an idea of the current version of the this is much better. I think that we are building a very, very, let's say, strong tool right now, and with all COVID-19 situation, I believe that it's more valuable as a tool. Thank you very much, Yorgo. Before going to the last presenter, this is Despina Davidou from Evalion. As Yorgos was keep on saying about mentors, I don't know if I will be a good mentor, Yorgo. Not for you, at least, I'm certain. But Despina will be talking about how you select, what's the specifications, let's say, of the mentor. Despina, please keep in mind that we are like half an hour behind schedule, so or 40 minutes. So please go ahead. And before giving you the floor, you can, in the meantime, share your screen. Let me just say that the second poll has been uploaded. Please, people, complete it. As you will see, the first 2 questions are identical because we want to see whether you will change your reply or not from the first poll. And please go ahead. It will take you only, I don't know, 25 seconds, 22 seconds or something like that. Okay. So, Despina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, I hope. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Do you see my screen? Is it okay, the presentation?
Yeah, but we prefer the previous one, the background was much better. Okay, with the, you know, with the jungle and the, I don't know what.
Ah, okay. I prefer that also. Okay, I'm Despina. I will try to be short, but don't stress me a lot, Mr. Vendikos. Today is my birthday, so I want you to be nice with me. Okay. Okay, I'm an occupational psychologist, and I represent Evalion, the consultancy company that participates in this very, very interesting project, the Sea of Experience. Our role here in our company, we are occupational psychologists. So we have the expertise and knowledge to develop psychometric tools, develop methodologies and solutions with everything that has to do with the human factor in the workplace. That could be, for example, assessment for development purposes, for selection purposes, could be the design and development of a competency model, because we talked about competence earlier. I will refer later on more details. To keep it short, our role here, I think it's significant in order to define the profile of the mentor, the profile in two, let's say, dimensions. The one has to do with technical skills or educational background, information that we gather from several sources, and the other, most important, the soft skills. So we had to define what are the soft skills, the critical attributes for a mentor in order to be effective in this role. First of all, I would like to stay to the very important aspect of what is mentoring, because we talked about training. A mentor could be a teacher, could be a trainer, but it's much more than that. Excuse me a second. Just few words. I don't want to refer to the full descriptions here, but mentoring is a mutual beneficial relationship between a mentor and a mentee. We are talking about a learning and development partnership here. We are focusing a lot in the development aspect of the mentoring process. Mentoring will be a vehicle to allow knowledge and experience to be shared in a trusted relationship. So keywords here is that we develop a relationship based on trust between mentor and mentee. We transfer, of course, knowledge, and in this, the maritime sector is very important, the knowledge and the technical knowledge, of course. But the most important here, referring to mentoring, is the intention from the one side to invest time, energy, personal know-how in order to assist someone else, the newcomer, the new seafarer, in order to be developed in this specific area. So it's I would like just to say a few words about mentoring in order to be clear what we have done later on. So we rely a lot in order to be effective this relationship to the criteria for a mentor. This is it was a very crucial step in order to be effective and to be, developmental for the other person, because it is a learning journey, it is a learning experience. It's, as I said before, we came up with a competency model regarding the soft skills criteria of a mentor, and we will see it in more details. What's up these criteria? Just to finish with the stages, in order to have the full picture, we came up with after defining this criteria, the soft skills, we have a dynamic database in order for us to have the opportunity to include potential teachers, lecturers, mentors, to evaluate them based on this criteria, to see if they have a strong fit, and moderate fit, or a weak fit with the role of mentor, and to go on, further to go on. As George said earlier, after we finish with the assessment part of the mentors and to see if they are adequate suitable for the role, then we can go to the platform, to a very dynamic platform, and proceed with the mentoring approach. But very important to define what we expect from these people and to have the opportunity to evaluate them on these aspects. Okay. in order to do that, we had a lot of extended research literature review for the soft skills of mentoring, and more specifically of mentors in the blue economy. There are of course, there are common traits, but there are also differences here. After this extended literature review, we also had an input from the consortium regarding the technical skills and educational backgrounds. Here we focused on 10 integrative professions based on certain criteria, how representative they are from the 4 domains. And then we had also input from our part from SHL. We are, as Evalion, we are the official distributor of SHL and multinational consultancy company. We benchmarked the model that we came up for the mentor with the SHL Universal Competency Framework. So we had a lot of input, a lot of synthesis. We came up with the first competency framework draft. And from that stage, we went on validation interviews. We had the opportunity to have interviews, to conduct interviews with actual mentors from the 4 blue economy domains, of course, in order to validate our evidence, to go further if there are more elements that we should have in mind and emphasize on that on our model, and to elaborate more on our evidence. After that, we had the content analysis, I mean, of the validation interviews. We end up with the data consolidation and the final design of the model. The next step for us is, after we have we shaped this competency model, we want to evaluate the potential mentors on these competencies. How? We have developed already a questionnaire based on these competencies, behavioral questionnaire, as also mentioned earlier, in order to see the fit. Apart from that, we have also designed a structural interview guide based on these competencies in order for the coordinator of the program to have the opportunity to have an interview with the potential mentor and to go in more depth regarding his results on the questionnaire, to elaborate more on this evidence, and to feel more confident on the decision that, okay, he's suitable in order to enter him in the platform and to have him as an actual mentor on this program. Okay, now to keep it short and come to the most important, okay, competencies. Just give me 1 second, because we referred earlier, and I don't want everybody to be confused about competent, competency, competence. It's different when we are talking about someone being competent in gaining a role, getting promoted, and having the capability, the potentiality to get a role. And it's different thing what we are saying here about competency model. Competency in our language, it has to do with a set of behaviors. Okay, when we're talking about a competency, we're talking about a set of behaviors, a number of individual characteristics that they relate to the job success. They can predict job success, how effective someone can be in actually doing the role. And the third keyword is to be observable behaviors. It's very important for us to be able to observe these behaviors, because we want to evaluate them. Okay, we're not talking about us when we develop the methodologies in order to assess people and to see if they are suitable. For mentees also, because they will be accepting the behaviors of the mentor, so they can evaluate these behaviors. So it's important to be observable. As we said, competency is an umbrella of things, a set of behaviors. It has to do with personality dimension, traits, could be motives, values, interests, ability, of course, skills and knowledge that already acquired. Just to be clear with that. Okay. Now, the 7 competencies that we end up with, to tell you the truth, and from the validation interviews, nothing new came up, nothing new in relation to these competencies. So actually, they repeated it all in the conducting the interviews. What we noticed that they said all of the things that consist of these competencies: demonstrating active listening, number 1. Because mentoring can exist only in a two-way communication, and it's very important for us in this setting, the mentee, to feel that he's heard and understood. Of course, we can say that active listening is a skill essential to any communication channel. It's the most critical, let's say, here in mentoring approach. Okay, and this came up in consistency from all the validation interviews as the most critical one for the mentor to have, I mean, okay? Okay, let's go on. Providing constructive feedback. We already mentioned that in the previous presentation, that is feedback is very important in a learning procedure, in a training procedure, in a mentoring procedure also. Mentoring becomes most helpful when the mentee gets useful feedback and can identify alternative courses of action, give him solutions, to be a productive approach. Apart from that, building together in a meaning that it's a two-way communication setting again, and the mentee must be able to open up himself or herself in order to get the relevant consultation. So it's something that we work together and build together. As I mentioned before, building trust is another one. And I need just to confirm that, yeah, demonstrating active listening and building trust were the two most important based on the evidence from validation interviews. What we mean by that, it's mentoring as an approach can exist only in a trusting environment. The mentee must feel respected, must feel welcomed, recognized, and trusted in order to be open up. So it's very important, this element. That's why I said it has to do with more than just being the teacher or the trainer, okay, and the mentor. Apart from that, inspiring others, mentoring could be as an approach more effective when the mentee becomes inspired to pursue his own goals, his personal development and growth. Cultivating a positive and growth mindset, it's most useful when the mentee manages to identify the positive aspects and the learning parts of each situation. And it's very important, as we said earlier in previous presentations, the conditions are very difficult in the maritime sectors, and they can be very stressful situations for the personnel. So yeah, we should have a positive mindset here, something that I think the mentees can get the learning outcome, even from a failure, from a difficult situation, what they can gain. And of course, applying expertise and technology, knowledge and expertise, mentoring exists when we have also knowledge and expertise. As I said previous, here it's very important to have the intention to transfer this knowledge. We have a lot of experts in fields. In order to be a mentor, it's something more magic than that. You have to have the intention to devote time, effort, to be patient, to transfer your knowledge, and this to be a useful insight for someone to accept this knowledge, especially to newcomers. So I don't want to take much of the time, but I think I have a few minutes, Mr. Ventikos. Just to give you some behavioral indicators of what we mean when we say demonstrating active listening. Uses appropriate nonverbal language, such as looking directly into people's eyes, nodding, leaning slightly toward them. Constructive feedback. Specific feedback on behaviors based on specific examples. This is very helpful for the parent to know exactly what he's doing right or wrong and how this could change and give him alternatives. Of course, compliments, not just negative feedback. Building together other behavioral indicators for the mentor. Building trust has to do also with the credibility of the mentor, how consistent he is on what he promises, on what he organizes. inspiring others. Inspiring others and cultivating a positive and growth mindset, they are very important also, but in comparison with the rest of the 7 competencies, they're in the middle, let's say. Some active mentors found them nice to have, but not the key points that will make the difference in the mentoring approach, because they are important. Storytelling is an approach in order to inspire others, and active mentors with a lot of experience on the field, it's a very useful technique to be able, with a story, through storytelling, to give the meaning and inspire the newcomers. Okay, cultivating a positive and growth mindset, positive outlook at work as a role model, and applying expertise and technology, of course. That's it from my side. And I don't know if you're going to have the
Lestina, thank you very much. First
you.
of all, Χρόνια πολλά. We didn't know that. Otherwise, we would have arranged it another day to have a bad mentor, but I'm not a bad person. I mean, I wouldn't put it on your, on your birthday. This workshop, but thank you, because I think you gave the overall idea of how we are going forward in order to, let's say, make the persona of the mentor and be able to select the mentors for the tool that Yorgos has been presented before you. Thank you very much. I think it was a very comprehensive presentation. So now we are about 15 minutes late. No, about half an hour late. But I think it's time we have like 10 minutes if you think, and if you like it, to fuel a small discussion before starting. I would say that the second poll is up and running, so please, people, complete it in order to have, some effectiveness measure of what we have been doing here today. I don't know, I acknowledge that the discussion after this kind of, let's say, workshops and of online event, it's quite difficult. But I would like to get some, some feedback, either from the internals. I don't know whether Sonia wants to say something, or from Captain Dimitris, and then I can see that we still have with us, for example, Marina Papaioannou from DNVGL, or Nikos Fragiadakis. Nikos Fragiadakis is actually the director of the πώς λέγεται η σχολή of the school at Aspropyrgos for captains and first engineers. Sorry, Nico, I don't know exactly the exact name of your school. And I also see we have some externals and from some companies. So I don't know who wants to go first. Perhaps Captain Dimitris, you want to say something, or Marina, Nikos, the floor is yours.
Shall I? Go ahead.
Okay. Please, go ahead.
Captain Dimitris, are you because I cannot.
No. I left the lady to start. No problem.
Okay, then I'll start. Thank you, Captain Dimitris. Well, thank you, Nico, for inviting me to the workshop. I think it was.
Marina, are you talking?
Yeah. Yes. No, you can hear. Yes, I'm talking. Can't you hear me? I am talking. No? Can you hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So, thank you, Nico, for inviting me. It was a very interesting workshop, and I'm glad that you're doing this job, all of you. There are particular things that are of great interest and value to me and our academy in particular. Of course, as everybody, we are also forced to do online training at the moment, only online training at the moment, and we try to do our best with it. I think that actually, this was a very good opportunity to start doing it, because we wouldn't have done it otherwise. Being dedicated trainers, and me being a trainer myself, I hate missing the face-to-face contact and then having the opportunity to see people and their reactions up front. But now we have to do what we can. And people are taking it up very, very well, and they're being very cooperative. And I think it's going very well for everybody. I'm sure that you also have similar experiences with training. Of course, there are certain things that cannot be done with online training, and we wait for the opportunity to have face-to-face trainings again to do it. I valued very much Kaptan Dimitris's input from what they do in LATSCO. The competence part is of great interest to me, as you know, Nico. I fully concur with what Mr. Kalandidis said, and I would like to add that it is my vision, let's say, that we take this competency model and the evaluation of competency to another level, a next level, not to just comply with regulations and make sure that people have the minimum requirements and they comply with all the needed standards and competencies that they need to do perform their task in the correct way. I would like to see taken to a next level where we will excel in what we do. We would have another point of evaluating people so that we can identify those who really, add to our organization. I also very much enjoyed the last presentation regarding mentoring, because for me, mentoring is or a mentor is a trainer. A trainer should be a mentor, I should say, actually, and especially for shipping, because it is such a particular environment where people need our support, especially those who are on board. And so training is not enough. Active listening is so important. And I really like that. I also very much enjoyed your initiatives and the work on how to use videos and how to produce this environment for online training where it would give more value to the people participating. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Super. Thank you, Marina. Thank you very much. Sorry for not hearing. My bad. I mean, I had the sound at some point switched off because I'm hearing. I have also Panagiotis on my side, and we cannot hear from both computers. Captain Dimitris, I guess you were trying to say something when I was hearing.
Yeah. Just only a few words, because I don't like to talk a lot. If I was aware that we have the opportunity just to present some of our facilities, I was ready to show some pictures as well from our maritime training center here in LATSCO, which is quite impressive, with our bridge simulator, cargo simulators, not any simulator yet, but we are building on this. But we are doing also a great job here in LATSCO, and only dedicated for our own personnel. We are not selling any service to anybody else. And the next thing I would like to say that virtual reality training, it is very much, I mean, I'm very, I'm wondering how that comes, and I would like just to participate at least a little bit on this development of the scenarios to see how it's going on, because I would like to be part of this process, and to always looking forward to new things in the industry, and I'm glad to assist if I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. That's why we have been in contact with your company, especially to create you to be able to test everything that we will be doing. So we will keep in very close contact, and of course, you will have in another workshop the possibility to present your own training center. I have seen it; it's indeed impressive. So you are more than welcome to do it in our next workshop. Thank you very much. I don't know whether Nikos Fragiadakis from Aspropyrgos, he can hear us. I don't know if he can hear us. I guess he cannot. Otherwise, I would ask Sonia, do you have a final comment, something to say, somewhere word of advice, how you want us to proceed?
I think she wrote in the chat that she had to leave because she had another meeting.
Yeah. I've seen that just now. Indeed. So I don't know if another, let's say, from the external, Terry, do you want to say something from the MATES project?
Sure. First of all, let me say that I really enjoyed the presentation and the work that you are doing, the Sea of Experience project. As you said, Professor Vendikos, there are synergies that we can exploit in both projects. And since we are now also in MATES entering the pilot experience phase, where we'll have different courses, different activities being going on, it will be great to see what we can exploit to the benefit of both projects. And very interesting, as you said, it's really nice to hear that you are planning to expand your approach also in the Balkan and Black Sea area. This is something interesting. We are also in contact. Let me say that with the CPMR, the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions of the European Commission, and we are planning a webinar on maritime transport issues, possibly next month. So it will be great to be in contact with you, possibly have a presentation of Sea of Experience there. I think it will be important for the members of CPMR, but also for the companies that are located in the region. So this is from my side.
Yeah. Of course, Lefteri, we will keep in touch, and with you and with Maria. I think that we should, as Sonia mentioned during her, presentation, they are very much in favor to and for collaborations and synergies between EC-funded projects. So, if you will send us an invitation, we will be able to participate, of course, in the upcoming event. Thank you very much. Great. Super. I do not see any raised hands. I do not see, because this platform has a system with raised hands. If somebody wants to take the floor, I don't know whether from the internal, Petro, Pali, Anna, or whoever, if you want to say a couple of words before closing this workshop. I don't know. Monica, Petros. Go ahead, Petro. Petro, I cannot hear you, and that I don't think it's my fault now. It seems that you are unmuted, but I cannot hear you. Yorgo, you can hear him?
No, there's no coming from Petros.
No, there's some kind of problem there. Eh?
Let's try to.
No, we cannot hear him. Eh? Anna, Andrea, Monica, whether you want to say something before closing?
Yeah. On behalf of the Cyprus Marine and Maritime Institute, we would like, it was the first actually dissemination and technical workshop. We look forward to welcome you in the next one that will be as Professor Vendikos said, on the 18th of November. So I would like, and we would like to congratulate about your presentations, and we would hopefully have the organized at the same level and have the advisory board and the guest speakers and meet the same criteria as you said it with the first one in Athens. So thank you.
If you're talking, we're not hearing.
I'm always doing that, don't worry, and I'm notorious of losing time, as you can all see. And on the same day, Despina's birthday. So I was just saying that I see on the chat a post from Miss Marava. We will upload, won't we, Panagiotis? We will upload at the site. We will upload the presentations that you all saw today in PDF format for anyone who is interested to get them. So I guess that at this point, I would like to thank you for your participation. Thank you much for your contribution. Thank you very much for your patience. We will try to keep in close contact with everybody that attended today's meeting. We'll switch on once more our cameras in order to take a picture. Vera, please wait a couple of minutes. So if you would like to take the picture on the chat, you can see on the chat the site of the project in order for you to to log in and download the presentation. Okay, so Vera, please let me know whenever we are ready.
Let's camera.
We are okay.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. And we will keep in touch, and we will revert on various topics always related with the human element of more than the Sea of Experience project. Thank you very much for your patience, and thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Να ρωτήσω κάτι. Το recording να το ξαναπατήσω τώρα για να σταματήσω.
Το recording τώρα, ναι. Εντάξει.
Ναι, ναι.